Greetings, everybody. I am Lobo, and welcome to Luna. This is episode 195 of my Minecraft survival series, and the goal for today's episode is to finish up Enchantry Island, to get this entire thing done. Now, we've made a lot of progress over the past few months. You know, we've got the Mage Tower pretty much completely completed over here. We've got the Mage Village almost done. There's maybe one more addition that I do want to add to this before we get around to the landscaping and all that stuff over here on this little bare spot on the island, you know, because this needs something, right? But yeah, crazy as that may sound, I'm hoping to have this entire thing finished by the end of this episode. Now, I think we're going to start with the cliff faces over here just beneath the Enchantry Tower because, I mean, this is more or less how I want it to be, generally speaking. All it needs is a bit of landscaping. So obviously we're going to go through here, we're going to vary up the blocks, you know, add some little detail features, some texturing to all this. But before we get around to that, there's some other little things I want to handle, like this waterfall right here. Like this is not working for me. I mean, especially this little magical water source right here, like that's not going to do. Now, I think we're going to instead place our magical water source a little bit higher up into the cliff face. That way it looks like it's kind of flowing down from the Enchantry Tower, right? And then I think what we're going to need to do is also figure out how we can kind of form the cliff face around this, like make it look as if where the water's been flowing, it's eroded the rock over time. Now, I also want to add a little bit of travel to the waterfall. So instead of flowing straight downward right here, I want it to come down over there where that waterfall is. So it's going to kind of detour off to the side here. Just kind of follow the contours of this, thing. So just to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about here, it's going to, the water's going to flow down through here, kind of gradually turn this corner, just kind of hug the sides of this cliff and then fall where we want it to fall. All right, let's go ahead and get some water flowing down here. I'm going to use multiple source blocks. That way I can kind of, adjust the width of this thing and get it to flow how I want it to flow. I mean, there are going to be some little awkward areas like this right here, but, we can fix that. It's all part of the process. So I'm feeling pretty good about the upper sections of this thing at the moment, but like this bottom part, I'm just not a huge fan of like how the water kind of fans out as it makes its way down the lower part of this mountain. So what I think I'm going to do is probably just try to narrow this a bit. So maybe something like this is a little bit more what I'm after here, and then we can have that kind of just empty out into the actual, the water. The water empties out into the water. Yeah, I think something like that could potentially work. I mean, obviously this is just rough right now. We're going to go back and kind of detail the edges of it and all that stuff, make it look a little bit nicer. But I mean, as far as the water flow goes, I think that's going to work. I think that looks kind of nice. And, it's an unnecessary feature, but it adds a little bit of life to the island, right? And I think we might add some more little tiny features throughout the rest of the island as well once we get around to that. Right now, though, I want to focus on landscaping. I think we're mainly going to focus on this cliff face just beneath the Enchantry Tower because the Enchantry Tower is done, right? Unlike the village where I said I want to add a little bit something extra on the far side of the island. So I think we are just about ready to get started with that. Hey, you guys remember how this entire build got started? This used to be the side of our Christmas tree. That's how this entire area got started. It was the side of our Christmas tree. I still have all the leaves and stuff here. Along with all these jungle leaves that we've got in a more recent episode, I'm thinking we might decorate the cliff faces here with a lot of foliage and stuff like that. Mostly just to kind of liven them up a little bit, make sure they're not looking too gray because we're going to be adding lots of gray to them with the various rock variants and stuff like that. Let me explain what I'm doing. That would have probably been a great way to start off this clip because I'm kind of going out of order here. Right now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going through my resources, getting everything together that I need to get together in order to do this build. Nope. No! Oh my goodness. Is this the type of world we're living in? The type of world where a man can't just go and harvest his warpnilium in peace? Is that what we're doing here? Where'd that other guy go? Where'd the big nope go? Oh, hi. Just talking about you. I'm gonna need you to vacate the area. Okay. All right. Anyway, I think I'm just about ready to go. Once I collect this, I should be just about ready to go. So at this point, let's go ahead and call Dee Dee on over to the work site, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody. The cliff thing that holds up the Enchantry Tower is now complete. And man, was this a lot of work. Like, it was a few minutes for you guys to watch back, but this is days worth of work for me. That's why I told you guys I was giving myself a little extra time. Last episode I said that because I knew this was going to be a lot of work, but you know what? Man, was it worth it. I am actually very happy with the way that this has turned out. And as it stands, pretty much everything from like the side of this cliff on this way is now done. Like, you'll notice the trees over here, they're not dressed up. Those are natural trees. These ones have little flourishes that added to them because, you know, we haven't really worked on this side of the island yet. So we will get around to that in a little bit. But right now, let me just go ahead and walk you guys through this area so you can see what we've done with the landscaping, which is very much in keeping with a lot of the landscaping of our completed areas over here in Luna. Wow. Really? Really? Gonna rain now. It's gonna rain now. It's decided to want to rain now. You know what? I was gonna fly through here and kind of show you guys around, but you know, having the conduit effect in the rain kind of gets rid of all the shadows, which I do consider to be kind of an essential part of this build. So that kind of ruins that plan. So maybe while I'm waiting for the rain to die down, I'm going to come over here and kind of mess around with the trees I know are going to be staying, like these custom trees that we made. Kind of add a little bit of leaf variation and stuff to them, you know, just to pass the time. All right, so now that the weather is a little bit better, we can step back and kind of get a better look at this cliff thing that kind of supports the Enchantry Tower. Basically, I was trying to play around with depth and add features and details to it that would make certain areas pop out. Like, for instance, you'll notice that where the Enchantry Tower touches the ground, we have this warp nilium instead of grass, right? I wanted to carry that little detail through to this area as well. So you notice where the statue is down here, we have him producing the warp nilium instead of grass as well. So I thought that was, you know, kind of a neat little detail that I want to carry through to certain areas. And then as far as the cliff faces themselves go, we added a bunch of block and texture variation just to make sure it didn't look too boring, too much like the regular stone which it was made out of, right? And the grounds over here are not done yet. Ignore these for now. I just want to show you that we did carry the cliffs and the landscaping on the side of the island we did finish down into the water. That way everything would feel a little bit more complete. Even added a little bit of flora right there. Now, before we get around to tackling the remainder of the landscaping on the rest of the island, I'm going to have to kind of clear out the areas on the rest of the island where we're going to be doing landscaping. Basically, me planting these trees in a previous episode might have been a bit premature. Because when we do get around to the landscaping, obviously I'm going to be swapping out some blocks in the ground, adding a little bit of block and texture variation to where the grass is currently. And I want you guys to be able to see that. I want to be able to see that, right? Secondly, it would make sense to go ahead and bolster my supply of jungle saplings. So if we go ahead and just take these down now, which I'm going to need to do, then we'll, you know, if we collect the saplings that drop from the leaves, then obviously we'll have more trees to plant later. So win-win? Actually, since we're undoing work that we'd done previously and therefore are making more work for ourselves to do in the future, maybe it's more like win-win-lose, though I do still think that's an acceptable ratio. And there we go, the second deforestation of Enchantry Island is now done, but we will replant the trees eventually. We'll get back around to that. It's just, you know, I explained my reasons. But before we do that, there is this area over here that we were talking about earlier that we want to do something with. Because you notice this road leads to a platform out here, and this platform really serves no purpose aside from giving us an obstructed view of Ender Island over there. So it feels like we're missing something, right? Because that can't be the only reason I built this thing. Now, let me tell you why I've been holding off on this, why we haven't gotten around to building this till now. It's because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to build here. Like, I had an idea, but then I received a suggestion, which I think was better than my original idea. Where is this center of this? Hold on. Right here. Okay. Yeah, I received a suggestion that I think was better than my original idea. That suggestion was we should build a rock imbued with magical properties. And I think that's what I'm going to try to accomplish here. So big rock, no problem. We got that covered. The question is, how do we make it appear as if this rock has magical properties? What I'm thinking is if we have like some kind of symbol, like a rune carved into it, that might just do the trick. So yeah, let's just build it. Let's see what we can make happen here. there we go. So, I mean, that's a quick once over. I might go through here again and kind of clean things up a bit, but you know what? I think I kind of like that. How does it look from the side, I'm wondering? Oh, so a lot of the symbol is actually hidden when viewed from the side, and we won't be able to tell what it fully is, what the rune is, unless we get right up to it, right? Kind of like that effect. Now, it does seem kind of odd that there would be this magical rock on this magical island without any kind of lore attached to it, which is why I'm thinking there is probably lore attached to it. My theory, and hear me out, here's my theory. This rune protects the island. It was put here by the Arcanine Order to protect the Enchantry, to protect Enchantry Island from any bad things that might happen to it, right? Say, the end of the world, perhaps? And maybe the old ones and the Grey Wolf knew about this, and when they hatched their plan to end our previous world, they knew that the Arcanine Order would not be affected, which left them stranded in a dimension that no longer exists while everybody else moved into this one. So it's a good idea, just kind of backfired. Now, if you're new to this series or you haven't really been following the lore and you have no idea what I was just talking about, my advice to you is don't even worry about it. Don't even give it a second thought. Too complicated to explain at this point. But what I want to do real quick is fly back over here. Since the sun is now setting, I want to fly back over here and just have a peek at what this rock looks like at nighttime with the rune fully illuminated, but everything else kind of, you know, darkened up a little bit. And I think I kind of like that. I think it looks even better at night. All right, that's cool. So great addition to the island. Great suggestion. Thank you so much for that. And usually I don't even like getting suggestions because the majority of suggestions I get are for areas that I already have plans to do something with. And you guys are obviously not privy to my plans, right? But this one actually worked out. As of now, though, I think Enchantry Island is pretty much done aside from the landscaping, which is going to be the next thing we tackle. And man, is that going to be a lot of work, but we're in the home stretch now. Enchantry Island has been a huge project, and it's crazy to see it kind of wrapping up. So no more dilly-dallying. I said no more dilly-dallying. At this point, we got a little observation station set up for Dee Dee, so let's go ahead and call him on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get Enchantry Island finally finished. Wait. I had a thought, okay? Before I let you guys into the time lapse, I had a thought. So we're gonna come back over here to the magical rock, and I was thinking, wouldn't this look pretty cool with a little bit of color added to it? So maybe what we could do is kind of get rid of the shroom lights directly behind the opening, and then maybe add a little bit of stained glass in its place, then put the lights in behind it. Yeah? Oh, I love the sounds. I'm gonna start using these more just for the sounds. All right, the sun's rising. I want to go ahead and take a peek at this before the sun is completely risen. So, oh, you know what? I missed some spots. But aside from those, I think I like that. Kind of mutes the color a little bit and adds that little tint to it. I think I like that. So we're going to roll with it. Let me go ahead and repair those, or not repair, but just kind of fill in those spots I missed. And I will let you guys get back to your regularly scheduled programming. Okay. No! Oh my goodness. What in the world? All right, where did he even come from? I mean, he didn't break anything, right? He didn't break anything. But where did he come from? I don't. Welcome back, everybody. I give you Enchantry Island. And I am so close to just calling this build done, completed. But before I do so, I do want to fly around here and just make sure there's no like bare spots I left in the areas I completely ignored or anything like that. I don't see any as of yet. And I don't know, this has just been such a huge project overall that like, I always feel like I'm missing something. But I mean, we've done a lot here. We have done a ton of stuff. We even got these little islands off to the side finished. We got that little peninsula over there covered. I don't think I've missed anything. I feel like I'm fairly happy with what we've done here, actually. Scratch that. What I just said about me being fairly happy with what we've done here, I am instead very happy with what we've done here. Oh my goodness. Actually, there's one change I might make, one small change. Not a fan of that snow that's gathering atop the statue right here. Might have to do something about that. That's an easy fix though. Too easy. All right, let's have a peek at this one more time, minus the snow. Huge improvement. All right, guys, I think this is where I'm calling it. I'm happy with this build. I hope you enjoy it. And I think this is just about done. There's actually one more thing I need to do before I can really call this finished. I keep giving you all these false like, oh, we're done. No, we're not. We're done. No, we're not. But there is one last thing I need to do, and that is just get rid of all my junk over here because this is not part of the build, obviously. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and chuck everything into our storage system. I know I've been trying not to use the storage system because we do have a big upgrade coming to it. And like, you know, that's probably going to be our next big project. And I'm going to have to clear everything out of there eventually anyway. But honestly, I just don't feel like finding a home for this stuff elsewhere. So into the storage system it goes. All right, guys, you ready for this? I know I am. Whew, that feels good. That feels good. Finished! Enchantry Island is finished. I said it. Actually, wait, hold on. No, I'm just playing. We're done. We're done. Oh, man. I gotta admit something, guys. I am a little disappointed because I was thinking that once we got Enchantry Island finished, the Arcanine Order might come back and, you know, take possession of this place again, you know, repopulate it. But that seems not to be the case because I've just walked around this entire area and there is not a soul to be seen anywhere. Like, what was the point of all this if not to bring the Arcanine Order back and to bring Watchdog back with them, right? I mean, yeah, maybe unlock the final page in our book, but really, what is that going to accomplish? It gives us a conclusion to the story, maybe? You know, conclusion to this tale about how Wolfen's Laboratory and the Grey Wolf were in conflict with the Book Lady and the Arcanine Order and how they were both gaining power from the old ones to achieve their ends. Wolfen's Labs to destroy our previous world, the Arcanine Order to save that world at the expense of Luna and to stop the old ones from ascending, whatever that means. And I mean, we all know how that ended up, right? You know, the world was destroyed. The Arcanine Order is in that destroyed world still. And we are here in this new world without the Arcanine Order, without Watchdog. So, I mean, really, it's just a big mess. It's a big mess, and I don't see how any conclusion to this story is going to fix that. But we've come this far. We've done this much. Enchantry Island is finished, and so is this book. Here we go, the final page, page 10.
Here we are, each imprisoned by the other in disparate realities. Seating the builder to sate our wrath was a laughable attempt at appeasement. I decree this stalemate eternal. We gladly suffer oblivion with this offering, so long as they suffer too.
I am confused. Seating the builder to sate our wrath was a laughable attempt at appeasement. Nobody ceded me to you. I was not ceded. I have not been ceded. Nobody gave me to you. Wolfen's Labs gave Watchdog to the Arcanine Order. And the Arcanine Order wouldn't have known any different because they only saw me in Season 1, right? And I gotta admit, in Season 1, Watchdog and I did share some similarities. So why Watchdog, though? Why would they give... They know... Wolfen's Labs knows the difference between me and Watchdog. It's my place to suffer oblivion, not his. Not his, not Watchdog's. Though I guess Wolfen's Lab still needed me, right? They needed me to build for them. And the Arcanine Order is just going to give up? They've resigned themselves to suffering oblivion so long as they keep the old ones from ascending. So they're just going to give up too. So basically all of this, everything we built here was for nothing then? It was just for nothing? That can't be. I refuse to believe that. This is not... Watchdog should not have to suffer for what I've done. Even if what I've done was unknowing. Watchdog should not...
Now it makes sense. Of course, the one so insolent as to call me Book Lady is the one responsible for the decimation of my world. You, Destroyer, have deceived me once again.
Deceived you? I didn't deceive anybody. You're the ones that took Watchdog. You're the ones that were out for vengeance. I was clueless about everything.
So we are agreed about how clueless you are. You have no idea the devastation you've wrought, the suffering you've caused. The old ones keep us imprisoned here, alongside your friend. Do you truly care about the one you call Watchdog? Would you defy your masters to get him back?
Okay, well, first of all, Book Lady, I have no masters, okay? I work for myself. Secondly, I will get Watchdog back. Do you hear me? I will get him back.
Be warned. If he is returned, so too are we.
Well, fine. I'll bring you back too.
So too is our wrath.
Wait, what? Did you guys catch that last part? I didn't catch that last part. Anyway, so there is a way that we can bring Watchdog back. But we have to defy the old ones in order to do it. That's fine. That's fine. This isn't over. This is far from over. We're going to bring Watchdog back. I guess we're going to bring the Arcanine Order and Book Lady back as well and deal with whatever they have to throw at us once that happens. But in order to do that, we need to defy the old ones, whatever that means, whatever that entails, probably over here at Ender Island. So I'm going to have to give that some thought, figure out what we're going to need to do there. But I do think that is probably going to do it for us today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.